that could change right away Monday morning. You never know. Again, this isn't financial advice. Do your own homework, your own due diligence before you buy any of these stocks. They're always risky and you never know. They could go to zero. Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me again. This is the Sunday edition where we pick the watch list for the week. However, this week I skipped the video on Friday, so I want to make up for that first. The watch list totals for last week. On Friday, we were down 47.84%, so it was quite a big hit that we took on Friday. However, for the whole week, the entire watch list was up 17.4%. So I think that's great that the watch list really held up and at least came out a little bit ahead, but we did see heights during the week that it would have been great times to exit and take sizable profits. Moving on to this week, on the watch list, you'll see that there are two colors that are beside some of the stocks. The yellow tagged stocks are from 2 weeks ago that I brought to this week's list. The green tags are stocks from last week that I move forward to this week, and if it doesn't have any color at all, then that means it is a new stock that I went on ahead and put in on this week's watch list. This week we've got a baker's dozen of stocks for you. The first one I want to talk about is ENSC. This was actually one from 2 weeks ago that a subscriber had brought up and said, hey, take a look at this. Looking at ENSC, even though all the metrics are tight, it does look like it is poised to go higher this week. Zoom in on the RSI. We can see it is in the correct position with the purple line up on top and the yellow line on the bottom. Zooming in really close to the candles on ENSC. Right down here, the trend cloud has established itself as support as well. Just one more indicator that ENSC is moving in the right direction. We are above the 9-day. We're above the 200 as well. That lets us know it's in a position of strength, not necessarily that we'll go higher though. The MACD is coming off of a negative oscillation, so that's a perfect time to get in and enjoy that swing up into the green area from the MACD. Zooming in closer on the MACD, we can see our indicator lines here are converging. When they do cross, we will be in a positive oscillation. So shout out to Renown for bringing ENSC back on the watch list for this week, and hopefully it'll do really well. Next one up on the watch list is UNCY. This one has a portion of the setup going on. The MACD is coming up off of a negative oscillation. However, the RSI and the candles really aren't lining up. I did want to put it on the watch list because when I scrolled down over on the right hand side here, I could see that it was a neutral and a strong buy from these technical analytics. I always wonder where these meters come up with their suggestions, and I like to watch days out to see whether they're right or not. So even though we're below the 9-day, we are above the 180, which is good, and again the MACD is on the oscillation up. So maybe we'll see good things from UNCY. Next one up that I brought back was PMN. Now, PMN at first glance doesn't really look all that special. However, I did notice that there is a small green candle right here at the end. If we zoom in on that, where I thought it had a red candle on the end of the day, it's actually a green candle and it is above the 9-day. The RSI is diverted up here, so it looks like we could have an increase on this stock in the next few days. We'll keep an eye on it and watch for some small pops. PLBY is the next one on the list. This one has had a great last couple of days. It was up 18 and 20% plus during the trading days. It's been closing higher every day. Another major reason that I wanted to put Playboy on the list is for the activity that happened last year at this time. Going back to November 2023, we can see that Playboy was at 45 cents a share, and in January it had worked its way all the way up to $1.51 per share with ups and downs along the way. This was a great run over a whole month period. Conservatively, you're at 204%. I wanted to bring Playboy out right about now. Keep an eye on it. It's had a great couple of days. Really think that through this holiday season, we're going to see Playboy excel. Onward to NXL NXL is the ticker. NXL is one that has seen incredible gains in just one day. Going back here to March 2024, in just a matter of days, it was up 360%. This one has the potential to really rocket ship in a short amount of time. Going back a little bit further, NXL is a younger stock getting started in roughly September of 2022. Zooming in right now on NXL, it ended Friday on a red candle. However, it is still above the 9-day, the 200 and the 180 and the 50, so it's above everything. However, the MACD looks like it is cooling off. This may not be the best time right now to get into NXL. However, in the coming days, these indicators could turn around and we could see another sharp increase. RSI is still inverted with the purple below the yellow, so it's not yet time for it to go higher, but that could change right away Monday morning. You never know. Again, this isn't financial advice. Do your own homework, your own due diligence before you buy any of these stocks. They're always risky and you never know. They could go to zero. NEXA is up on the list and it is closed above the 9-day. The MACD is on strong greens and the RSI is in the correct position with the purple above the yellow. However, it does look like they are going to converge sometime soon. I wanted to put this one on the watch list and see if it does converge, and if not, is that an opportunity to get in and get some shares. Now with the green tabs, we've got KULR. This one was a real popular one because it had such great gains throughout the prior week, 56%, which is nothing to sniff at. Right now we're back down to that 39-cent area where we were actually all the way back the 8th of November. I'm interested to see how the trend cloud plays out. Will this trend cloud turn into support or resistance? We'll see tomorrow when the markets open. The RSI is inverted from where it should be, and these lines are converging. I'm not thoroughly convinced that KULR is going to go down tomorrow. I really think it could see some gains. I am worried about the lack of volume on the right hand side over here. We'll see how that plays out tomorrow morning. I brought CETX over from last week. It didn't really see any gains throughout the whole week, which normally if it doesn't, I would take it off the watch list. However, the 7, 8, 9 indicators are on, and we are getting purple candles. We got purple candles up here and purple candles up here, and then we still did continue in a downtrend. None of these indicators are 100% and shouldn't be believed 100%, and I wouldn't make any financial decision on any one of these indicators. The RSI is moving to be correct position, but right now you could still say that the yellow and purple lines are touching, so it's anybody's guess whether this will go up or down tomorrow, but I wanted to make sure I brought it to the forefront because I'd like to see. You never know, CETX could regain itself from lows that it's at right now, and that's where we like to be, is when it's regaining from those lows. GETY is another hangover from last week. With it being such a big name, again, I had confidence that it would come back and see some people buying and believing in it, but haven't seen that just yet, and that's why I wanted to move it over to this week's list. The 7, 8, 9 are on again as with CETX. However, GETY looks to have a little bit more volume overhead. That could mean a little bit more action. Zooming in on the RSI, the purple and the yellow line are touching, so we'll see how that plays out Monday morning. LDTC, another hangover from last week. This one is above the 9-day with the candles. The RSI is slightly diverted, and we're trading at almost 32 cents. The trend cloud says that we are in a supportive position, and the MACD is oscillating strong green. However, there's not a lot of strength in that buying, and there isn't much volume overhead either for LDTC. So I was interested to see, is it going to go down? How far down? Or will it push up into this uptrend that we saw last week? PRTS made it over to the list this week as well. Another hangover from last week. Parts.com is one that I did a little bit of an in-depth on, talking about its ups and downs throughout history and how right now is one of 3 or 4 points in history where it's been at a low point, but it's come back strong. So Parts.com made it on this week's list because I want to track this one. Again, I think we're going to see great gains over the long term as well as the short term. DDC had a powerhouse of a Friday with a big spike and then a big drop. I wanted to put this one on the list and see how it fares along Monday morning. We'd love to see that one pop all the way up to $1 as we would with all of them, but with the RSI being so diverged and there being so much volume overhead, I thought this might be a good one to throw on the list again, and let's watch it this week and see if we get some more gains. Last on this week's list is HAO. HAO is one I brought over because it's continued to do this trend that I've been watching over the last 2 weeks where it pops all the way up and then it drops down, pops up, drops down, pops up, drops down. When I was first introduced to this stock, we were right around this day over here with the 11th, I think we did that, or the 9th, 8th or 9th. Anyhow, 10th. We were a little bit lower, and then we did see that same pop-up that we had seen previously. I'm curious, is it going to do it again? Now, each time it pops up just a little bit less, but let's see what we get this week out of HAO. That's the watch list for this week. Today, I'm going to be inspired by the weekend and taking a little bit of time off. Friday was a rough day for the market. It was a really busy week for me with my regular job, being a regular guy, just looking at charts on the internet. Friday and Saturday, I decided to take a couple days off making videos. I hope you guys aren't upset with that. I appreciate all of you coming back to see this week's watch list. If you have any stocks that you'd like to add to this week's watch list, go ahead and drop those in the comments and I'll get them added up and we'll track it throughout the week. And as always, I'd be doing it anyway, but I'd rather be doing it with you. See you tomorrow.